Keep your horns high and heads banging for Jenn Mitchell in the 80sGasm.
Oh, gnarly!
Straight out of the bag today with Stray Cats and Stray Cats Strut back from 1981. I'm your host, Jenn Mitchell, and thank you for joining me once again for an hour of 80sGasm. Now, there was a reason that I started out with the Stray Cats because I have a bit of a situation going on in my home right now. I'm sure that this is going to be way too much of an overshare with everybody out there, but it has to be said because I don't want to struggle with this by myself. I have two cats, Ace and Faith. Now, Ace is about 4.5 years old, and he is just a grumpy cat. From the moment we adopted that cat when he was 9 months old, he was really just, don't touch me, don't look at me, don't pet me, just feed me and clean my litter box and go away. Nothing's really changed 4 years later with that cat, I might add, although once in a while he does curl up to me, but I think he just looks at me as a heat source. Let's just be honest about that. Then we just got this new kitten last May, and her name is Faith, and she is a naughty little cat. And even though it's wintertime and cats can go into heat at any time, she's definitely in one right now and has been swarming, coveting, stalking. And this is a really bad term to use because I don't want to put down people who've gone through this, but she's essentially trying to rape Ace because she's in such heat and I have to put up with her constant cooing and what have you. And today, she did something a little bit different going into heat. She decided it would be fun to just lounge in our litter box. And I'm like, why are you hanging out in there? There's like blankets for you all over this house and, you know, warm, cozy beds for her to sleep on. But no, she has to lounge in the litter box. But this time when she tried to get up on Ace's jock and everything, she just outright sat on his face. Ace was not having it. I think any other actual man would enjoy something like that from a woman who might want something from them, if you know what I'm saying. But not this cat. I actually took a picture of her doing this to him, and the look on his face pretty much says it all. In fact, I think I'm going to post that photo. Now, mind you, it's a little bit blurry because I was laughing so hard when I was trying to take it, but the sentiment will still be the same. You're going to see the look on his face. Nonetheless, I have to get my inspiration for this show from various sources, and even if it means watching face-sitting from my cat. So, from 1983, here's Loverboy with Hot Girls in Love off their Keep It Up album, and I'm sure if my girl cat has it her way, she'll keep it up for a very long time. Welcome back to 80sGasm. I'm your host, Jenn Mitchell, and I just realized I'm probably not helping my cause here with this whole cat fiasco that's going on in the household, because I thought I was being clever and kind of rubbing it in my cat's face by picking I Want Your Sex by George Michael, and just realized that that came from their album Faith, which happens to be the name of my cat that needs a little bit of chilling out over there.
Our lips are so close.
Now think back to when that song was first released in 1987. I specifically remember my mother pretty much having a coronary on spot when it was playing on my radio in my room. She came in and she, what are they saying? Why don't they just have sex right on stage if they're just going to sing about it that blatantly? I'm like, Mom, that's why it's so cool. This from the same woman who also used to sneak in my room to check on me when I'd be changing just to make sure that there weren't hickeys placed in various spots on my body, and sometimes she would actually find some and then totally freak out.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
My mother, the woman who was infamous for saying, hickeys lead to pregnancy.
Jesus H. Christ.
That is exactly what she said when she saw a hickey. It was on my neck, and I'm like, Mom, how do you get pregnant off of a hickey? You know what I mean.
You know that, don't you?
Hickeys aren't the gateway to getting pregnant, are they? Did I miss some trend in the 80s? I don't know.
Sir, no, sir!
Well, one thing that my cat actually did miss was reaping the benefit of what Faith had to offer to him. In which case, I think I need to balance the score in this house because I really don't want him gouging out my eyes in my sleep. So I'm just going to take a cue from this next band. So from 1982, here's Flock of Seagulls with I Ran. Maybe I should style his hair like the lead singer of that band. What do you think? No, I don't need him to hate me even worse. Although that would be funny. Just saying.
Get out!
The 80s fun has just begun, so stick around. Up after this quick word from our sponsor, I'll be bringing you more shenanigans on 80sGasm with Jenn Mitchell.
Are you tired of the music you hear on the radio? Since 2004, Arm the Pit has been promoting the bands the mainstream ignores. Visit armthepit.com today and discover your new favorite band.
Arm the Pit! Yeah! Sign up your f***ing name and we'll make some noise.
Hi, this is Phil Collin from Def Leppard.
Hi, this is John Basaw of the Babies.
Hi everyone, this is Terry Lewis of Great White, and you're listening to Jenn Mitchell. She's beautiful and she rocks.
For many people out there that might be following me on social media, I think those people know very clearly that I'm all about shenanigizing, especially around the holidays. To me, that's like a long smorgasbord, if you will, of shenanigizing opportunities right there, because you've got all your family around and the crap that you can pull on them is pretty much endless. I don't need gifts or anything, I just really need time to plot. And plotting I did, so let's do a quick flashback here to a recent reindeer game that I played with Scott Dolliver, original guitarist for Dangerous Toys. So I'm going to give you the name of a toy, and you have to tell me if you think it's a real toy or an imaginary toy. Now, if you guess that it's a real toy or I tell you it's a real toy, you don't really have to tell me what you think that toy does, because I don't want to go off air and scare too many people today, but... Are you ready for this game, Scott?
I'm ready.
By the way, for the ones that are real on here, should he not get them right, anyone can go out there and Google these, because they actually, the ones that do exist, actually really were made. All right, here's number one for you, Scott. The vibrating icicle. Real or not real?
I would say that's probably real.
Not real, although, maybe that's
so
wishful
you're telling
thinking.
me that no one has ever made a vibrating icicle to jam up against or up inside some orifice?
Look, my show is based on a very important research,
Listen,
just like
I
this,
know
Scott.
there's got to be a sweatshop in Indonesia where they're just pumping those things out.
No pun intended there, right? I'm just
There you
saying.
go.
Right. All right, here's number two for you. The orca.
I'll say that's real, too.
That is real. Your last answer was so profound, I have to ask you, do you know what that is?
Hell, I don't know.
And I'm never going to tell. That's all I'm saying. Google, people. Google the orca. Okay. Number three is the Yukon Cornelius clamp. Is that real or fake?
Yukon Cornelius is one of my favorite characters.
Well, I might have ruined him for you.
Of all time, man. Come on.
Land ho!
Well, that sounds like a trick question. I'll say no.
Yeah, not real. Very, very good. Okay. The Area 51 love doll.
That's got to be real.
That is real.
There.
You might own one. The Heat Miser's hot body lotion rub.
I'd say no.
No, not real. Very, very good. Okay. The Naughty Clarice.
I'd say that's real.
That one's not real, although I'm sure that there's a woman
Okay.
out there named Clarice who is pretty naughty. I don't know her number, otherwise I'd float it to you.
Yeah.
It's okay. How about Herbie's Pocket Rocket?
That's bound to be real. Wow, jump right on that. Jump right on that.
Herbie doesn't like to make toys.
How about the Baby Jesus butt plug?
People will shove anything up their butt, so I will just say yeah.
And your logic there paid off, because that one actually is real. And I think even though Terry before had asked me if he won anything when he played his reindeer games, didn't really have anything for him. But in this case with you, I think maybe a Bible and some free trips to therapy might be in order here, Scott.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh.
Blasphemer. It's okay.
Yes, we're both blasphemers, and isn't, again, that what the holidays are all about, right?
God bless us, everyone.
I just have one more question for you, and this is going to determine whether or not you've been on Santa's naughty or nice list this year, although I think I kind of have an answer on that right about now, Scott. I'm going to let you pick which one of your songs to play us out with to help determine that.
Oh, I'm such a sweet and kind and, good, caring person. So,
Did you say that with a straight face?
Exactly. We'll just play Scared. How's that?
I'm really surprised with you.
You game up, didn't I?
You did throw me off. I might have to just play tease and pleasing anyways and just overrule you, because that's what I do here on the show.
There you go. There you go. Wouldn't be the first time in my life I've been overruled by a woman, so there you go. Ow!
Now, you can look at that list of toys in one of two ways. You can either look at them as a blessing or something really, really, really blasphemous. I prefer to actually blend them together and accept them as both. The really funny thing is I actually do sometimes do research for these shows and looked up the creepiest sex toy sites that there were on the net, and believe me, there's plenty of them, I'm sure. Maybe some of you actually done that too, but I digress.
Jesus H. Christ.
Nonetheless, for the ones that he didn't get right, I really did kind of have fun coming up with those names and threw him off pretty good. I thought for sure he'd see right through my shenanigans, but I must be much better at it than I even think I am, which I don't know if that's scary or not, but let's just move on here. Sometimes I like to post polls online, and I realize that was probably a really bad punny segue, but I'm just going to rock with it right now. These polls that I'm referring to occur on my Facebook page at /80sGasm Rock, so if you guys want to sign up and go there and check out all the shenanigans that go on there, please do so. I posted a meme the other day, and it said, name your 80s TV crush, and I got a lot of really good answers. Someone had responded by saying Nancy McKeon, or, we all know her as Joe Polnicek from The Facts of Life, and I said, yeah, I think she was mine too.
Joe represents the true American beauty. Did you hear that? I heard it, but I don't believe it.
Look, I don't always go swimming in the lady pond or anything like that, but she was really hot, let's just be honest here.
Our Joe, the true American beauty.
Someone had mentioned Don Johnson, but you know what? I don't know how to feel about that one, because he always looked a little greasy to me. Am I wrong here? I don't know. Another answer that was given by a listener was Corey Haim. I guess we'll give that to him, even though he had that weird snare going on with his lip, kind of like Elvis when he talked, but that's okay. But then there was this one person by the name of Janie who had asked me, I don't know, can I pick this from a TV show or from music? And I'm like, well, I don't know, how about both? Just kind of wanted to see what she'd say. And immediately she responds back with, it's still Joe Elliott. And for TV, it used to be the actor that played Bo Duke. Well, once I hear the words Joe Elliott, everything else stops in life for me. I think anybody who really knows me or has visited my site at gasmswithjen.com probably understands my little obsession with Joe Elliott, who I lovingly call my husband. Now look, we're not actually married. I'm not out of touch with reality here or anything. I'm just going to make it clear that back in 1985, when I first heard their music, I felt in my heart I was married to Joe, and therefore he's my spiritual husband. Yes, let's just go with that. That seems to work for me. All right, back to Jamie. So she's talking about Joe Elliott, and so my response was like a ton of M's capitalized after that. I'm like, Joe's my pick too. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Right on, And then she's like, well, for a man that's 56, he's still so sexy and smoking hot. And I'm like, oh, hells yes. Eventually, I had to kind of shut down that whole thread, mostly because I knew I was going to be in need of a cold shower if she didn't stop all this talk about Joe. Not that I need anybody to bring it on. I'm just saying. Of course, this next song choice probably isn't going to help my cause any further today either. So bringing you this song from 1987 that you couldn't turn on a radio anywhere without hearing, and even today, especially on this show, here's my boys Def Leppard with Pour Some Sugar on Me. It's not just a song, it's a command. From their One-on-One album from 1982, that was Cheap Trick with She's Tight. I think it's pretty clear to see what's on my mind today, although how is that different from any other day, right? Up after this final break and another word from our sponsor, I'll be bringing you a few song requests that's going to be taking us back to old school rap. If you'd like to make a request of any song from the 1980s, all you got to do is email me at jen@gasmswithjen.com, or please visit my site at gasmswithjen.com and click on the Click a Song Request, and that's located right on the side menu of my website. You're rocking out on 80sGasm with Jenn Mitchell on krmaradio.com.
It's back, the legendary Screamer magazine. Born on the streets of LA in 1987, Screamer brought you some of the biggest names in metal long before their rise to superstardom. Bands like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Skid Row, Warrant, LA Guns, and Faster Pussycat. Now it's back, covering a whole new generation of music. At ScreamerMagazine.com, not only can you read and hear interviews with some of today's hottest bands, you can also download copies of vintage Screamer magazines and experience the LA metal scene of the 80s up close and personal. Log on to ScreamerMagazine.com now and receive a free magazine download just for registering. ScreamerMagazine.com, still the loudest mag on the planet.
We asked you this question.
What do you want?
And you said,
Oh, you want to rock now, rock the night. I wanna rock me. What do it to me, rock. You really
and now we're ready to give you what you requested. Welcome back to the final thrust of 80sGasm. I'm sorry, I just couldn't help myself there, people. Just go with it. Trust the process here. Those were 2 song requests submitted by a listener who is a very interesting character, and he actually runs his own radio station. Now, I know I can't tell you what radio station that is. Just know that the guy is very eclectic and usually plays some like really thrashy, hard metal music. But today he was having a little discussion with me, and I thought I might share it with all you guys. Because, see, this is the benefit to reaching out to me through social media. You just never know exactly what's going to be said and what type of shenanigans go on within conversations. And sometimes shenanigans within shenanigans, and that gets a little confusing after a while, but you got to be a stealth shenanigizer to really keep up with all this stuff. So the following day after Thanksgiving, everyone knows is called Black Friday, because that's when people just kind of pilfer and beat the crap out of each other to get a lot of stuff that they probably don't even need in the first place, but I digress there. He was telling me that the day after Thanksgiving on his station, they were playing a lot of rap music. And I said, I wonder how that went over with your listeners. He says to me, yeah, we were getting down with old school rap. I didn't know until the cat was out of the bag that it was a coincidence of it being Black Friday and what have you. And I kind of laughed at that. Look, I'm not a racist here or anything, but it was kind of a funny thing to say. To which my retort was, I call that an accidental shenanigan. And then he went on to tell me some of the other songs that he was playing in that. Of course, I really liked all of that stuff too. And I said, oh, I do like that old school stuff. And then I spelled it SKOOL. And then I added to that I was a total loser. And then he agreed with me, of course, on that. Then I confessed to him that I have this issue with saying salt and pepper, which happened to be the last song that you guys heard off their Hot, Cool, and Vicious album from '86, and we'll just toss it in there. Before that was It's Tricky from Run DMC. I just feel weird saying the word peppa because, as I told him, I'm really not racist into stereotyping here. I just feel really odd as a white girl saying the word peppa. And I think part of that, too, is that I have OCD, and I just want to correct it and say pepper. Pepper. I'm sorry. I told you guys I was a total dork. This just proves it. INXS had a lot of songs that always spoke to me, but for whatever reason, the one thing was always the song that stuck out to me the most. I don't know if that was partially based on the video. I don't know if any of you remember the video from back then, but there's like a cat walking on a table and this weird like Last Supper scene. I know it wasn't like some religious thing, but there's like all these people eating all this really weird food that I would probably never put in my mouth, but hey. I'm just telling you to go to YouTube and check it out yourself and just let me know if there is something on their table that you would actually put in your mouth. Some people want to know the meaning of life, and these are just the hard-hitting questions that I like to ask. I don't know why I'm fascinated with these weird, crazy things. Now, this is going to sound like the worst segue ever after the whole weird, crazy thing there, but I want to take a moment to thank KRMA Radio for letting me run my mouth on their station for an hour again this week. Thank you guys so much. And I also want to thank everybody else for tuning in tonight as well. 80sGasm can be heard on krmaradio.com every week on Wednesday nights with new shows at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, and again on replay on Saturday mornings at 9 Eastern. So if you want a really crazy, weird way to wake up, that would be the way to do it. Special shout-outs to my friend John Nowinski at Arm the Pit and Dave Castagno at Screamer Magazine for their sponsorship of this show. To get the latest news on 80sGasm, please visit my site at gasmswithjen.com, or you can visit me on Facebook at /80sgasmrock. So until next time, this is Jenn Mitchell of 80sGasm signing off and saying, I hope the music keeps hitting you in all the right places. Taking us out tonight is Bon Jovi with Never Say Goodbye.